Hey misses, and welcome back to my channel, Miss Event Planner. If you guys are new here, my name is Taylor and today's video is for my event planners and entrepreneurs. The video topic for today came from a subscriber comment, and the question was, how do you set your business policies? Specifically, how do I set my business policies for my specific business? Now, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys some examples of this and kind of let you in on how I did it myself. But of course, always remember that this is tailored to my specific business, my specific experience, and the way that I want to run my business. So you always need to tailor everything that I say to what you guys are doing and how you guys want to run your specific business. This question came about from my last two videos, which you guys have seemed to really love because you guys are commenting a lot, and I'm just loving your responses to those videos. So if you haven't watched those already, make sure to go ahead and check them out. I will leave a link in the iCard and also in the description box, and you guys can go watch those videos, especially the how I lost $1,500 from one client making one avoidable event planning mistake. Also, if you guys need more help with your business, make sure to check out my Etsy shop and my downloadable business guide that's been helping hundreds of entrepreneurs just like yourself start their businesses and brand them like a pro. So to get back to the question at hand, how did I come up with my specific business policies? So you guys, honestly, I really just developed them by making all of the mistakes. Literally by trial and error, literally by going to events and something happening, or dealing with a client and something happened and I'm like, oh my gosh, I never want this to happen again. So then I come back afterwards and I make the business policy and I change things on my website and I make sure that I create some kind of law or rule for my clients that they must follow so that these things don't happen to me again. And then once I did that, I just made sure to stick to them, except for last week. And if you guys go watch my how I lost $1,500 video, you know what I'm talking about, so go ahead over there if you haven't already. But for the most part, I stick to those firm set of policies because it never ends well for you when you do not. So for example, let's go over a couple of general policies. Let's say cancellations. Cancellations are an inevitable reality of the event planning industry for several reasons. I mean, an event can be canceled because of personal issues. It can be canceled because of unpredictable weather. Your event gets rained out, your event venue, something happens with your event venue, unforeseen emergencies on your client's end or on your end. If you break your leg or you come down with pneumonia and you're unable to go and decorate for an event, you may have to take that loss and return your client's money and cancel that event. So cancellations are going to happen. Hopefully they don't happen too often, but they are going to happen at least a couple times in your event planning career. So how do I deal with cancellations? So in the beginning of my business, I didn't really even think of cancellations. It's something that kind of slips people's mind because we just don't often think that somebody is going to cancel an event that they already booked, right? It's happened about twice in my career, and I've been doing event planning since 2015, so in about 4 years, it's only happened twice. Let's just discuss the most memorable one that happened that I can think of. And the thing with me is that my clients book about 3 to 4 weeks before their event. Now, if you guys are doing weddings or you're doing larger scale events, you may be booked out 6 months, maybe a year, maybe a year and a half. So your guys' cancellation policies might be a little bit different. But my particular clientele usually book within 3 to 4 weeks of their event. I don't know why, don't ask me why, that's just how it tends to work. So cancellation policies have to be very strict with my particular business because we're literally right in front of the event date. So if I hold that event date for you and then you cancel it, like, I didn't get any money for that time period. For this specific reason, I learned very early that party deposits are non-refundable. Now this just seems like duh, why wouldn't party deposits be non-refundable? But when you're going along with your business, sometimes you just don't even think about stuff like that. You just kind of like, you don't assume that people are going to give you a party deposit and then later on ask for it back. I had 2 run-ins with cancellations in my entire business. The first run-in that I had, the lady canceled the event for whatever reason. I think her daughter got sick or something, asked for her party deposit back, and I didn't want to give it to her, but I did give it back to her. I realized, like, this doesn't make any sense. I've already started doing some work for this party. Why would I give her her money back? But I was so afraid of getting Yelp reviewed and having a negative thoughts about my business that I just gave it back to her. So naive, right? From then on, I was like, okay, it probably won't happen again, but I had a second person do it to me. And then I saw that, okay, there needs to create some kind of a policy around this, because this is not just like a one-time thing. This could actually happen again. And the second time I had a woman book, and she told me about 3 days before the event that her daughter had gotten hurt and like hurt her arm and kind of scratched up her face. So she didn't want to have the party for those particular reasons. And she asked if I could give her her money back 3 days before the event. And I was kind of like, what? Like, if we're about to have it's already ready. Your event's already ready. Everything has been done. So on this particular time, I told the lady, I'm just going to charge a specific like cancellation fee and I'll give the rest of it back. And I was a little bit more happy after I did that. But then I realized I shouldn't be returning any money at all to these people. These people's party deposits should be non-refundable. Why? One, because it secured their date, which means I wasn't able to book anybody else on their date because that date belonged specifically to them based upon their intent to book with me, and they left the party deposit to secure that date. So at the very least, I should receive that money. Also, I've already started doing some work for this one. Also, I've started purchasing things for this party. So why would I be giving any money back for this? It's not right. It's a no-go. And that became a policy of mine that party deposits are non-refundable. It took me 2 times. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, right? So after that, I made a policy that party deposits are non-refundable, and I recommend that they should be for you as well. Like I said, if you guys are doing weddings and you book like a year out and somebody cancels the next day, or 9 months before their party, you guys feel free to adjust that to your own set of business principles. But for my particular business, party deposits are non-refundable. Example number 2 is requiring my clients to pay their remaining balance at least a week prior to the event. Now, this gets really hard to do because when you're doing business in the beginning and you're just starting out, lots of times the clients do not want to pay you until you arrive and provide this service. And I know you guys, if you guys have already started doing events and if you guys have not set this particular policy of making your clients pay before the event, I know you guys have experienced sitting around waiting for your client to pay for you, or leaving the event without being paid and your client telling you that they're going to pay you tomorrow, or leaving with a check and cashing a check and the check bounced. All of these things have happened to me before. Thus, the reason why this is a very strict policy today with my business. I will not ever wait around to collect money again from a client event. It doesn't make any sense. All of the services have already been rendered. There's no reason that you should be having to wait around for your money. It's inconsiderate and it's really just bad practice. And of course, not all the time are clients trying to get over on you or trying to be malicious. Sometimes they're just wrapped up with their event. They've got a lot going on. That is why it's good to already require them to pay when they have nothing on their mind, when they don't have anything to do, so they can just check that off their list to do. You show up on the day, you make sure that you show up on time and proceed to give the services that you said that you would give. Just because you've already been paid doesn't mean you provide lesser quality services. You still need to show up and provide the best quality and the best product and the best services that you have for these people. But it will save you so much headache requiring that your clients pay at least a week ahead of time. I know a lot of planners that do 14 days in advance, and these are the reasons why. Clients will have you sitting around. I remember I went to this very, very wealthy woman's home. I mean, it looked like out of a movie, and she had, I mean, it was insane. Beautiful, multi-million-dollar home. Mercedes and Range Rovers and Teslas and everything outside in the driveway. They had a beautiful time. It was a beautiful event, and I was sitting there at the end. We had cleaned up and we're trying to literally like follow this lady around trying to get her to pay, and she's acting like she doesn't even recognize that we're there. We hosted the children's portion of the party, and we were literally having to like drag her to us to try to get her to pay, and she didn't even pay. She's like, oh, I'll call you tomorrow. The next day didn't pay. The day after that didn't pay. I had to tell her that, ma'am, I'm gonna have to charge you a $50 late fee for every day that this payment is late if you do not pay your remaining balance. And then finally she sent the remaining balance because she didn't want to pay any more fees on the money, but that does not make any sense. Now, I know that sometimes with corporate planning, this can be different. I'm talking about social planning when you're doing direct to the individual client who is booking the party for you. I know that sometimes corporate works a little bit different because you're doing with a lot bigger budgets and you're having to go through the marketing department and the budgeting department and the finance department and whatever else. So sometimes that's going to be different with corporate. But if you're working with your individual client, require your payment at least a week in advance before providing your service so that you're already paid and you have your monies for the services that you're about to render. So I hope I was able to answer that question for you guys, and I hope you found some help in this little tidbit of information. If you have a need for some more printable materials, I do have my editable party quote PDF file that I just added to my Etsy shop, and that also has a couple of client booking terms, general basic ones that I recommend that you would follow on it as well. Of course, it's editable, so you can add in your own policies and change to suit. So if you guys need some help with that, or you guys just want a little document to help you send out your party quotes in a professional manner, make sure you go check that out. Link will be in the description box. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in another one.